Good morning, Miss Amanda.
What about raise our hands? John. Okay, what you need on your week plan. Exactly what we're going to do today. And you were asked to check it, so in case you had any questions, you were prepared to answer. So we're talking about the different genres that we have taken for this term. I want you to get your notebook and I want you to jot your notes with us as we discuss the different types because we're going to write about them and you should have information in one place. So if you don't have your notebook next to you, please get your notebook. Biography is right. What is a biography?
The story of a third person.
That's right.
Usually present events in chronological order.
That's right. Very good. That's correct. So a biography, and I study. Okay, a biography is a story told by another person. Okay, a story about a person's life told by another person. It is told in chronological order. Chronological order means what? Raising your hand to answer. What does chronological order mean? No one remembers? We discussed chronological order. You should remember. Ragmini, tell them, what does chronological order mean?
Arranging events in order.
That's right. We put the events in the order in which they happen. So chronological order is another way of saying time order, the events in the order in which they happen. So if we're telling the story of a person's life, then we start when they were small and talk about until however old they are at the time you write the story. Okay, so we put the events in order. Thank you, Ragmini. That is correct, and that is an excellent answer. All right. Anybody who joined late, please make sure that you put your name in the chat box for attendance. Okay, anybody who joined late, please. All right. I'm going to talk slow enough today and move in a pace so that you have time to write down the information in your notebook because I want you to benefit from this. I want this to be something you can look back at and listen to help you study, or you can read your notes and help you study. I really want everybody to do very well on the last exam, and I think that you all will. All right, next we have expository text. expository text. What is expository text? Mohammed, what is expository text?
Expository text gives facts and information about the story and includes text features.
Okay, so it gives facts and information about a topic, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we often find facts and information about a topic. We often find that expository text has sidebars or maps, photographs, things that give us information about our topic, graphs, diagrams. Okay, so these are some of the text features that we can find when we are looking at expository text. Okay, Reem, what's your question? Reem, you have your hand up. Do you have a question?
No, I wanted to answer expository text.
Okay, once it's answered and you don't, and I didn't call on you, please put your hand down, okay? All right, now, so expository text is like what we see in our science textbook, what we see in our social studies textbook. This is expository text. Okay, next we have historical fiction or historical fiction, because I can't spell this morning. All right, so historical fiction. And there's a big hint in the name of this genre to help you remember. Okay, let's see. Hamza, what is historical fiction?
Historical fiction
Yeah.
is a made of story. Is a made of story that takes place in the past in a real event that happens.
Okay, so it's a made-up story. This is where we start. It's a made-up story. This story did not actually happen, although it is based on an actual event that happened in the past. So a
Yes.
made-up story.
Ok. La dernière phrase, elle a dit manger.
Is a made of story that is based
D'accord, c'est
around an event that happened in the past.
Thank you very much. That is correct. And if you ever have trouble remembering, then you can just look at the word historical comes from the word history, which we know are events that happened in the past. Okay, so this can help you. If you're looking at a list and you don't remember something, historical comes from the word history, and history are events that happen in the past. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Now, in the exam, you have to know what each genre is. Okay, all right. Now, there are lots of hands up. If you have questions, leave your hand up. If you want to answer, put your hand down, please. Okay. All right, Mohammed, what's your question?
I raised it because I wanted to answer.
Okay.
But okay.
All right, put it down. Okay, let's see. All right, next we have narrative nonfiction. Narrative nonfiction. Okay. Narrative nonfiction. Adita, what is narrative nonfiction?
It's a
real story, uh, a story that a real story that is based on with text features.
It's a real story based on text features. Is that what you said?
No, I said is a real story that has text features.
Okay, almost all stories have some type of text feature. So what we do when we think about text features is we try to associate things that we know would help us understand and remember our genre. Like for instance, we said expository text. Because it gives facts and information, we would find maps and graphs and charts and timelines. A biography, we might find a timeline, we might find photographs because it's talking about the person. Historical fiction, we might find a picture, a photograph from the past of the event that actually happened. We might find timelines that show a timeline of events that they happened in the past. We also might find references to or pictures of things that occurred during the time that this happened. With narrative nonfiction, it's not as much about the text features as about who's talking. Abdurrahman, what do you know about narrative nonfiction?
I know that it provides more information about the main idea.
All right, so when we have narrative nonfiction, because it is a true story, we often write with main idea and key details that are organized in our writing. But what's important about narrative nonfiction or any kind of narrative writing? What does the word narrative mean? Muhammad?
It has a narrator that narrates the story.
That's exactly right. So this is a true story that is told by a narrator. So that means that there is someone in the story that is explaining the story to you. You have a narrator, someone that is explaining what's happening in the story as you go. This is the importance of narrative. So if we pay attention, we have a couple of clues to help us. Okay, historical will show us that this is something from the past because it comes from the word history. Narrative shows us that there is a narrator telling our story. Okay, so this will help you when you are choosing the answers for your genres in your exam. And lucky, you only have 4 this term. Those are all of the genres that will be on your exam for this term. Okay? All right, I'll give 1 minute and then I'll take it down. Okay, so these are pretty short definitions. So I imagine that everybody is finished. If anyone is still writing and you want me to leave it 1 more minute, please raise your hand. Where did that blue box come from? What have I done? Nope. I don't want to see any news. How do I get rid of this? I don't see any way to close it. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, I see your hands. I'll give you 1 more minute before I take it down. How many of you are having breakfast next to your laptop today?
Not me. Not me too.
Not me either. I don't have either. All right. All right, so now these are our genres. Okay. And I don't think anybody will have any problems. Again, if you have problems while you're studying or you're preparing and you want to send me a message, you're welcome to do that. I will be happy to answer you, okay? All right, now, so we're done with this. I'm expecting everybody to get 100 so we can have a super pizza party in the summer. All right, let me just clear this, please, 1 second. It is not allowing me to clear the screen. There we go. Okay. The next two things that we're going to talk about today are two of your favorites. I know. This is the easiest term that we have ever taken. All right, let's see. Reem, what does reread mean?
To read again.
That's right, to read again. To read again. And Jomana, why would we reread?
To get more information.
Okay. So, and is it to get more information? We've already read and we want to read again.
So we can understand better.
That's right. So we read again to have a better understanding. Okay, be sure you put these in your book. Between the practice sheets that we are doing this week and the practice sheets that you will have for homework and these definitions and whatever we complete during class this week, you should be well prepared for your exam, okay? All right, so we reread because we don't understand something. And we reread to help us understand what we have read better, okay? This is a very easy term. Now, the second one, which I hope is equally as easy for you, and I think it probably is something that we use when we have a lot of information and we need to make that information, what? What do we need to do to that information? Our word is summarize. What does the word summarize mean? I want to see some new hands. Those people who are just sitting at the bottom of the session. I want to see you wake up and start to participate. I want to see hands that I have not seen today. I see the same hands every time. Okay, Wahba, tell us, what does summarize mean?
To go over the details in the text.
Okay, to summarize is not about going over the details. What does it mean to summarize? Yusuf?
To gather the most important detail, like the most important part of the story.
Okay, so summarize is when we tell the most important details. Like, for instance, remember how I gave the example of Cinderella in class and how Cinderella goes to the ball, she meets the prince, and she gets married and she lives happily ever after. This is the whole story. If you tell just the most important events, she goes to the ball, she meets the prince, she gets married, she lives happily ever after. The movie is over 2 hours long. But if you tell only the most important parts, you can summarize the whole story in a matter of 3 or 4 sentences. Okay? So to summarize is to tell the most important details. Like for instance, if you are doing a paper, an expository text, and you go to the library and you write down notes from a book that you read, then you watch a video and you write down notes from the book, then you find a newspaper article and you write down more notes, then you watch a documentary on TV and you write down more notes about your topic. You have to organize and summarize that information. You're going to go through and pick the most important part to add to your paper. So summarizing is taking a lot of information, like I just told you about the movie, all the information in the movie, and just retelling the most important parts. Okay? So summarize is to tell the most important details. All right, guys? So that's it for the first part of our review today. Every day we will add new lists to what we are reviewing. Okay? I will see you guys back at 8:45 for the second session. We will do grammar, okay? Any questions before I go? Yes, Muhammad.
Miss, do you remember our bag that we put our feelings when we first started with you?
Yes.
We didn't open it.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, I have it. I don't think it was feelings though. Anyway, well, I have it in my office, and I will go to school on Sunday for the exam. So maybe at the end of the exam, we can bring the bag and open it, okay?
Okay.
Yes, but how
If, every,
about the homework people?
if everybody finishes, I can take the bag to the room for the physical students, and then I can take what's left to the room for the online students.
Okay.
Okay, just so you guys remind me. But let's get the
Okay.
exam done and out of the way first, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. I'll see you back at 8:45.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.